Chains rattle broken, now we rise. Flag in my hand starts burning the skies. Truth ain't dead, though the liars try. They scream loud, but the words all die. Guys watching hands, praise to the throne. Freedom ain't free, blood built this home. Continue freedom, keep it alive. Red, white, blue, we bleed to survive. God bless the brave who fight and strive. Continue freedom, keep it alive. Land of the free, ain't bending the knee. Truth in my veins, it's all I see. Patriots roar, no fear in the fight. Continue freedom, stand in the light.
All right, another live stream. Thank you guys so much for being here. I truly, truly appreciate it. We've got some interesting stuff to talk about today. I don't know how long we'll go. You know me, if you've been watching this live stream any length of time. I go to standard, not necessarily to time, but I try to keep it to an hour. Either way, for all the new folks that come on board, be sure to hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell. That way you're notified every time a new video is released. But we got to talk about the No Kings protests. So some of it should be taken serious. I mean, Antifa is already, there are people already saying that Antifa is getting involved in all the hubbub. But the memes that have been coming out about this are fantastic. And I'm waiting for more to show up. But this was my favorite one because it kind of plays on more than one thing. Here we go. Let's watch this. Oh, I better mute that because I don't know if that song is copyrighted. But here's Donald Trump and... oh, a good throwback right here. The throwback to Nancy Pelosi and all the Democrats bowing down to BLM. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. So, look, I'm going to sum up what I think this No Kings nonsense is all about, and it's in one protester, one guy who his clip, I think, has gone viral now over on X. But check this out. This is, again, perfect summation. Perfect summation. Let's play this clip here. Let's go to this guy. Very much a star performer.
Trump's a bitch.
Yeah, why is that?
I don't know. He's just, we don't like him. That's the word around here.
Any particular reason why you don't like him?
No clue at all. I'm just going with everybody else saying.
I think that pretty much sums up the left. I think that sums up these protests. It sums up a lot of these protests. People show up. I'm sure there's some of the young, disenfranchised young men who are just looking to find women who also hate America, hate Donald Trump, whatever. But these are like social gatherings. But that kid, no, man, it is what it is. I'm just doing what everybody else is doing. Now, there were huge crowds. So in Chicago, there was a big crowd. I'll play this one. And any of my folks, I've got quite a few regular viewers that are from the Chicago area, if I'm not mistaken, that came over from some of the stuff I've done with the Chicago Conservative. But if you check out here, this is the crowd over in Chicago. Pretty massive. It's a pretty massive crowd. Now, I will say that we're going to talk about how this is obviously a planned event. It's a paid-for event, well-funded. They have helicopters. They've got video cameras. They've got all the good stuff. But it's not the young people, the young movement that a lot of folks want it to be. Maybe it is in Chicago, but this is in Boston. This is how NBC Boston reported on this event. Check this out.
People I know who are there. This is an older crowd. There's not a lot of folks, and granted, it's a big crowd here. I'm not good at estimating, but it's definitely over 2,000, maybe close to 3,000. We can't see everyone, but it's an older crowd. A lot of white hair. You see out there, Q-tips, as we used to call them in the business. And they're out protesting, and not a lot of young people. And also, again, portraying this I hate America idea that this is what this protest is about, showing people who are boomers and middle-aged out taking time from their day on a Saturday to come and protest and be heard at the nation's oldest public park, Boston Common.
It's like an Eagles concert, guys. Nothing but whites. Actually stole that joke from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So got to give a shout out so I don't get in trouble for it. But a bunch of old, angry boomers out protesting because they got plenty of free time on their hands. And it wasn't just there. That's in Boston. This is over in Atlanta. people were showing this. They're like, yeah, the Atlanta is like, what is it? I don't know the percentage, 50%. I mean, not a lot of diversity for a group that prides themselves on diversity. So it's a lot of angry, in most cases, like it was in Boston and other places, white people, boomers, that are coming out to protest because they're ticked off at Donald Trump. And this whole No Kings, I mean, the whole messaging behind the entire movement is ridiculous. In what way is he acting like a king? First off, in what way is Donald Trump acting like a king? I got some more clips. You got to see this, because you got to see the type of silliness that's going on at these events. Here you go. I mean, let's take a look at these two guys down here on the end. They are definitely at retirement age. Let's be perfectly honest. Oh, it's so cringe. Golly. Oh, this is why I could never be a liberal. I mean, the policies aside, I could not mesh with an audience that is that beta. We're with a base that is that beta. We're out here dancing with our jeans and don't slam anybody that wears jeans and t-shirts. Older folks do that with them tucked in and the belt and all that good stuff. But these old folks, they're out here dancing and whooping and hollering because of Donald Trump. Oh yeah, what a young, youthful movement this has proven to be. Now, the people like Harry Sisson, the ones that are paid by George Soros, he was there. Obviously, I'm not going to show a clip of Harry Sisson. You've seen me rant and rail against that guy for a long time. But here's some more. Let's see. This was, here you go. Here's another one. Oh, let's play this clip. Very heavy crowd here too, by the way. Call me Antifa. Oh, like the whole thing. It's just clip after clip after clip. Cringe, cringe, cringe. Okay. But I have one more to show you. And then we're going to get into some of the other, something that's happening in the UK in relation to the No Kings protest. I kind of spoiled it right there. But because this is a global movement, people. This is a global movement. Here we go.
It really helps to match the absurdity of those statements when we show up and show support in silly inflatable animal costumes.
Absolutely. What does it mean for you to be here today, representing, what you're standing for?
There's so many things, mostly like freedom of speech, of like being able to gather and tell everybody like why we don't like about this administration, and pretty much that being that's a right. Like we are worried we're going to lose, and we're here to prove like we don't want to lose that right.
Absolutely. Now I spoke to someone else earlier who was also dressed up and kind of was wearing their message. I think that's a great way to kind of get your point across without actually speaking. So
okay, let's just look at what we're worried about, being able to come together, to have our events, to protest, to speak. Who in the world has in the Trump administration has ever said that that's something they're looking to get rid of? We say this when they call Charlie Kirk a fascist. I think it was Frank Turek who his retort to that is, well, a fascist doesn't hand the microphone over to somebody to talk. Now, they're more than welcome to obviously come out here and do this, and we're more than welcome to sit here on the internet together on this wonderful Saturday evening and make fun of silly people dancing in the streets and dressing up in inflatable frog costumes. We can. But this one took the cake, guys. This one absolutely took the cake. This is in London. This is in the UK. We're in the UK now. Having a No Kings protest in the UK. Now, I don't know if they are aware or not, but they do have a king. They have an actual king. But no, this is the global movement, right? The global movement of No Kings. And in this instance, I would say that they're probably right. They love their traditions and all that stuff. But Prince Andrew, he's got some serious trouble. They released some of the flight logs, and it's been now proven he was on Epstein's Island. It was proven that he was lying to the press when he sat down and did his interviews. But they've got, I mean, come on, they've got a royal family, and fine. You want to, that's, if any place, I guess I should say that if there's any place that there should be a no kings protest, it would be in the UK. Not here in the US. Good gracious. But, I told you that it's all a paid thing. Let's go ahead and show you how well orchestrated this event was. Because, this is spontaneous. It's always spontaneous. It's 100% spontaneous. Yeah, you got the helicopters, the perfectly framed shots. There you go. Yeah, it's entirely spontaneous. Good grief. Now, they had people there making speeches, and the speeches were, look, you kind of knew where they were going to take it. It wasn't just going to be about Donald Trump. It was going to be about any and every policy, all the hot button issues and all that good stuff. And I see all the comments. I think I've already said this, but I will get to them here in a short little bit. But Mehdi Hassan was one of them that came out, and he took the opportunity in the midst of a peace deal, of all things, to make it about Israel. So here we go. Listen to Mehdi Hassan. Has nothing to do with it. Can't even be happy when a peace deal is struck in the Middle East.
The man who uses Palestinian as a pejorative, as a slur, has no plan for Palestinian freedom.
He's never done that, by the way.
No plan for Palestinian statehood. No plan for justice for the Palestinians who have been massacred and starved and genocided and ethnically cleansed for the past 2 years, including the past 9 months of his presidency.
Well, let's check in on this. By the way, can we check in real quick on the on what's happening in Gaza now that there's a peace deal? Here you go, the gunfire. Yeah, but it's not about that, right? Good gracious, Mehdi Hassan. Of the despicable people, he is one of the worst. I firmly believe that. He is absolutely one of the worst. And so they're still, it's Israel, it's Israel, it's Israel. Bill Maher had a great take on this. And his question is the same one that I would have for Mehdi Hassan. Why in the world are you sitting here still railing against the people who came up with a peace deal?
Have you noticed that now that Hamas has taken over again, they're what?
Shooting everybody.
Shooting everybody. Where are the protesters? Suddenly, the keffiyeh-wearing college kids are very
can't be found. Yeah, can't be found anywhere.
This is okay. It's just amazing the asymmetry of what goes on.
There you go. I mean, Bill Maher he's like a stopped clock. He's right twice a day, or a blind squirrel that finds a nut every now and then. And he makes a perfect point. All these people are still in the midst of a peace agreement, railing against Donald Trump for bringing peace, and ignoring the fact that Hamas is literally slaughtering people in the streets, their own people. I mean, I would assume that Tucker wants to recant as well and say that, well, maybe it's not just a political movement. Maybe they are the international terrorist organization that we've all recognized them to be, that the rest of the free world has recognized them to be. Good gracious. So anyway, I would be interested to know from any of you folks out there that are in either the Chicago area or any of these blue cities where these No Kings protests are taking place. What are you guys seeing on the street? Is it as big as they're pitching it to be in some of these places? Now, New York, I saw some clips, and I haven't been able to confirm whether they are accurate or not. So, because you get one side, the left says, nope, the crowd was there all day. The right says, look at this crowd dispersing. But they basically showed in video clips, and I didn't pull it up because I'm not 100% certain of it, but it showed Times Square being chock full of people, and then at 1 o'clock sharp, the whole crowd dissipated. And people were asking, well, were people expecting money? What, how was this? How did this actually go down? That all of a sudden they show up and then all of a sudden they disappear. It was just long enough to get the video clips and the photos. Then everybody goes back to, to living their lives. But this whole thing is leading up to, I believe, another summer of love. And I've talked about it. We had back during the BLM riots and the George Floyd riots, people were taking to the streets and burning things down. I haven't seen that to be the case in any of these. So at least they're coming out and they're not destroying property in mass like they were before. But I think this is the groundwork. They're laying the groundwork. They're preparing people for the crowds to be a little more comfortable with the crowds. And when we get next summer, I believe, when it starts to warm up, we're going to start seeing people taken to the streets. and wreaking havoc, violence. All it takes is one event. There's one event that needs to take place. I don't know what event that is. It could be anything that will set these people off, and they'll put Antifa into motion. Now, do I think it could be around Israel because that's such a hotbed issue? I believe that it could be. I mean, this has been what's motivated the left for the past 2 years, is the whole Israel conflict. And of course, this no kings thing, it pops up, rears its head every now and then. But Donald Trump is making great progress in America. He's not doing everything, but we're still early in his presidency. He's still got the bulk of it left. But nonetheless, this is a very divisive issue. And in fact, I've been talking about it on my podcasts up to this point, all my shows up to this point, is that we're going to see this. We're seeing it even on the right. And I believe that's why the algorithm pushes each side of that argument, because they want us to be divided on something. And they're doing a very, very good job. And we're doing a good job on our own side. If you want my honest opinion, I believe we are, it's kind of it's a self-destruction inside of the Republican Party around Israel, of all places, and around a small fraction of our budget, $3.8 billion. But, which again, I don't necessarily think we should be sending them that much money or any money at all. I'm perfectly open to not. But it has become much more than just a simple expenditure issue because it is so small. And, that's something the left has latched onto. And now the right, people like Candace and Tucker and Nick Fuentes and all these other individuals have latched onto it. And it's creating a rift, a schism inside of the Republican Party. And to kind of make my point, this is a lady, I cannot remember her name. I believe I think it's in the title here. So Stella... I forget what it is. But anyway, I saw her on a different show. I forget which one it was. And so I followed her, and then this popped into my feed. But let's listen to this. This is over in the UK as well.
Are you following what's happening in the UK? Because it is wild. On November 6th, Israel's Maccabi Tel Aviv is set to play Aston Villa in Birmingham. But the club just announced no Israeli fans will be allowed to attend. So you might be saying, why? Well, because police say they can't guarantee their safety. Not because they're violent, but because mobs might attack them. And Birmingham MP Ayub Khan, he's celebrating it. Yeah, he posted this. I welcome the news that Maccabi Tel Aviv fans will not be permitted to watch the match at Aston Villa. Let that sink in. A member of parliament celebrating Jewish fans being banned from a stadium. And this happened on the same day Prime Minister Keir Starmer said, I will do everything in my power to guarantee Jewish communities the security they deserve. Oh, really? Because banning Jews from public events is offering security? Could you imagine this happening to any other group of people? The world would lose their mind. But when it's Jews, it's for their own safety.
And, there was a guy that made an argument. This is an abomination, by the way. I think it's horrible. But they do have a certain problem over in the UK with their migrant crisis is very, very, very real. It's a huge problem. And, there was, this was a post made by Elon Musk, and it was by another guy who's a journalist, and it was a grok, basically he called it a grok takedown of this guy, but the Owen Jones is the dude's name. And he tried to make the argument that the reason this was happening, that the British government is going to splash taxpayer money on allowing Israeli football hooligans with a penchant for chanting death to Arabs to rampage on our streets in the face of public opposition. And this is an interesting argument because do you think the average person over in the UK is worried about a yarmulke-wearing accountant, or do you think they are more worried about, some Somali or Nigerian youth who has made his way into this country and into their country and has not assimilated? Sorry, but not sorry. Who do you think they're actually worried about? And so this tirade was followed up by other people saying, hey, give me some pointers on this. Why is this guy making these emotional appeals? And Grok took this guy absolutely to task. And of course, he spent, I don't know how much, I've read 4 or 5 different X posts that he had made, all trying to say that Grok was, pro-Israel or something like that. But look, they're making nonsensical arguments. It's for their own safety. And yet the people who are very, very much anti-Israel, which you're more than welcome to be, but they're very, very anti-Israel, they're trying to say it's because they worry about the Jewish people. I'm sorry, but I think we all have a little more common sense than that. The average UK citizen does. And so you ought to check it out. Go check out Elon's post if you can find it. He posts a billion times a day. How in the world he does it, I have no idea. Let's see. So where are we at here? I'm going to get to some comments here in a minute. We've got quite a few. Thank you guys for burning up the comment section. I appreciate it. If you've come on and you're new here, be sure to hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell. That way you're notified every time a new video is released. So the next thing I want to talk about, I'm jumping from topic to topic. I'm moving through this episode quick, guys. Quicker than I had anticipated. So I'm hoping you guys hit me with some good comments because I would love your thoughts on everything that we're discussing today. Let's see. Let's go into this one. This is the B-52s. So not the band. Nope, not the band. But the ones that Trump is sending into Venezuela. Okay, so look. The way that people are framing this is very wild. It's misleading, I think, in a lot of cases, and it's because of posts like this. So this says, and I've got it kind of zoomed out. Let me see if I can zoom in so that you can read it. It says 3 B-52 long-range nuclear bombers have been spotted near the Caribbean in Venezuela. They departed from Shreveport Air Force Base. Can we clarify something really quick? Nuclear bomber, they are capable of carrying nuclear weapons, but these are not nuclear bombers. I can speak firsthand on this one. They can deliver all sorts of precision munitions, and that's what they're intended for. They are intended to deliver, whether it's JDAMs or whatever, on precision targets if they decide to go into Venezuela. So it's another form of air support, and it's one that is flying at 50,000 feet and able to drop any number of ordnances with extreme accuracy for any troops that we may have. If we send special forces, which is something that has been brought up, is he going to send SOF in? They've seen, of course, the Ghost, the ship that's meant to support special operations, is my understanding. It's some sort of a destroyer. That they have got Little Birds, which are used for rapid insertion. They're smaller helicopters, similar to, I think they're different than an OH-58 Delta, but they're a smaller helicopter. They've got Blackhawks, so I'm guessing the 160th, I believe. The SOAR guys, they're all down there. So it's gearing up to be more of a special operations force than anything. But the bombers are another form of air support because they can stay up for a really long time. They can drop any number of ordnances, but they are not nuclear. I've watched these silly folks online saying he's sending nuclear bombers. We're going to nuke Venezuela. It's like, come on, guys. And it's honestly because of posts like this. So I'm sure that whoever Todd Perrin is, whoever this person is, I just picked him because it was one of a whole slew that I saw. They're not nuking Venezuela. That's crazy. So let's see. I want to know your guys' thoughts on this. Hit me up in the comments. Do you think that this whole Venezuela thing, do you think we're doing is it that Trump is making the right moves? And the reason I ask that, yesterday I played the video talking about how this is a power play against China. This was a theory that somebody else had brought up because Venezuela, the bulk of their money is owed, or that the bulk of their debt is held by China, and China is beholden to, or they are beholden to China, and they are going to be paying back their debt in the form of cheap oil, which is going to keep them, financially enslaved by China for an extended period of time. Trump is doing things that are disrupting China, especially in this hemisphere, and he said, no, this is our territory, this is our turf. So it's the Panama Canal. We had that. Now we've got Venezuela, and Maduro, he came out, and I believe, let me see if I can find it. I didn't pull up this clip. Let's see. Ryan Fontaine. Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Ryan Fontaine, for not contributing to the conversation. I appreciate it. Let's see. Venezuela. He's the guy's, let's see, Venezuela president. He was, well, nope, that's not it. Maduro speech. Sorry, guys. Hang on just 1 second here. I'm going to pull it up. He came out and was speaking English, and he was talking directly to Donald Trump, and he said, no peace, no peace. No war, just peace, just peace. He's basically rolling over saying, look, I don't want any of this. I can't take any of this. I'm shocked I can't find that one. I thought that it was right here in my feed, but nonetheless, take my word for it. That was the speech that he delivered today. So I want your guys' thoughts on it. Do you think that we're doing the right thing? I've seen some people. Tracy believes that we are. Let's see. Rabbis have talked about Christian. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna talk about the Christians that are being slaughtered, especially down in Nigeria. It's a big one. There's a pastor who's gone viral online talking about how they're having to bury people every day. These Christians that are being you want to talk about an actual genocide. That's it. Let's see. I'm getting to some comments here. Let's pull up some. Who've we got? Tracy, we can't discuss politics in my home. My son went to No Kings protests in Pittsburgh. Oh, man, that's a bummer. We can't. Well, see, okay, here's the thing, Tracy. I would say that what a ginormous crowd. They're using country music. I think most country fans are probably conservative. Yeah. I get this. I've gotten this comment from several people on other videos that, hey, we can't talk politics in my house. And that's such a bummer because, I have a family member who we differ very much on politics, but we still have conversations. It's just hard to, it's the way you approach it is really the key to it. You got to kind of ease yourself into the conversation and not come out guns a-blazing. Hey, this is my opinion. It's like seeing everything from, let's see, I'm going to pull this post up. It's like you got to be able to see things from other people's perspectives and use the fact that you're a loving family or trying to be to still have meaningful conversations around politics. Yeah, these protests are mostly women. This is true. Yep. Let's see. James says, Israel doesn't need America. America needs Israel. Can you define that one for me, James? Give me some extra context on that one. Because I do think that, Tracy, she says that Israel needs America. We've obviously got differing opinions on this down in the chat. And, this is a question that I am mulling over all the time. It's $3.8 billion that we're sending them. A lot of that's going to pay for the Iron Dome. It's 75% of it. We have a memorandum of understanding or an agreement, basically. I say a memorandum of understanding. It's an agreement with them that they will spend 75% of that back here in the U.S. on the military industrial complex. So they're pumping it into Boeing, Lockheed, General Dynamics, whoever else they're buying munitions from. So that money is coming back into the American economy, but it is still padding the pockets of people who I'm not a big fan of, being the military industrial complex. Now, if it's not us giving them the money and they just want to buy weapons from us, I am A-okay with that for an ally to buy whatever. If they want to buy the Iron Dome, they want to buy all that other stuff. But I have to be consistent in that we do have an expenditure problem. We don't have a revenue problem in America, at least in the federal government. We do have a massive spending problem. So does that mean it needs to be shaved down? And I posted this in a video a while back. It was, I don't know, maybe it could have been a month ago, but there's a whole slew of countries that we send money to. And when it's all said and done, it's more money than we're actually giving to Israel. Countries like Egypt, we send $1 billion a year to the Sudan. Some of this stuff is made for or being used for humanitarian aid. Some of it is being used for defense spending. Just depends on the country. But they don't have the same agreement that Israel does to spend it back in this country. So when you do the math, it really comes out to about $900 million that we're sending, which is a lot less than the top 10 countries that we're sending it to. And then Ukraine's a whole nother story. We've pumped billions upon billions upon billions of dollars into that place. Jennifer, welcome back, Jennifer. Let's see. Muslims were literally beating up Jews after the game in Amsterdam. Yeah, there you go. Look, this is a consistent problem that the UK has, that a lot of European countries have. I still hold to the fact that, or to my belief, that the UK and Britain are going to be the first nuclear-armed Muslim countries. I mean, you're going to have to explain to me how I'm wrong. At least in the next 50 years, that's probably going to be all the case. Let's see. And I get a phone call right in the middle of a live stream. Turn off your phone, Jared. Can anyone tell me the last time you protest to help anyone except themselves? Waiting. I mean, this is that's a valid point. But let's see. Let's put it this way, Junior. Them protesting themselves is kind of a non-starter. I mean, I'm trying to think of the necessity for them to do it, first off. But if they're going out into public, do you think that, I mean, I've seen them out on college campuses There were college campuses. I showed the video of it. There were American, I'm sure a lot of them Zionist Christians, whatever, but there were Christian and Jewish students out waving flags at the time of the ceasefire. But, can they really do that? I mean, most of them are liberal. But let's step back a bit on this as well. So most of the Jewish world, they are wildly liberal people. They are pumping money into universities just like Qatar is, just like other countries. They have adapted to a liberal lifestyle, to the liberal world. People say, oh, they run Hollywood, and this is part of the mind manipulation. And yet when you look at Hollywood, it's all anti-Israel. There's nothing pro-Israel. So you're talking about social Jewish people versus religious Jewish people. There's some differences there. Let's see. Yeah, so that Tracy said probably the secular Jews say that. Yeah, I mean, it's so much more nuanced than just one thing over the other. Timothy says we need each other. I mean, that I tend to agree with. Israel is we've talked about this. We can beat it to death, but it's a small country. Israel is the size of New Jersey, but they have a very, very potent intel world, a very potent intel entity in Mossad. And Mossad, I still believe, is a corrupt intel agency, just like the CIA is a corrupt intel agency. And we've got people that are trying to clean ours up, and they need to clean house on their end as well. But can we share things that are bringing us to, like, we have common enemies. Sorry, I'm stumbling here, but we have common enemies. The common enemy is radical Islam. We don't have a problem with the Islamic world that has tried to adopt more Western things because they want tourism and they want all of that. But at the end of the day, when it comes to the radicalized side of Islam, we have a very common enemy. I mean, Iran says it, that there's the little Satan and the big Satan, which is Israel and America. That is most certainly a common enemy. But the ideology itself seeks to destroy. It's a convert or die thing. All the Jews have to go. This is what Islam tells them. So all the Jews have to go. And after that, it is a convert or die or be taxed if you're allowed to live through the jizra and all those other things. I think I pronounced that right. So yeah, do we have common enemies? Yeah, we absolutely do. Let's see. Only true ally in the entire Middle East. Let's see. Same. God's grace and God's undeserved favor. Yeah, I've the whole Zionist argument. I'm not a theologian by any stretch of the imagination, and I've started to have some friends that really, really are, and I don't lean as heavy into it as they do. But it's something that there is a theological component to it, and obviously we saw the Ted Cruz interview, so it's impacting his decision making on how he's voting on policy. Do I think that it's as cut and dry as that? No, I don't think it is. I personally don't. It is. Because some people treat them as if they can do no wrong. And that's just a silly way to look at it, in my opinion. They're a fallen people just like we are. And we're not supposed to sit and support bad things that they do if they do something wrong. So it's not cut and dry. And I need to do an entire episode on this. And I've got some people that I'm thinking about trying to bring into the show that can help enumerate it better than I can. Because again, I'm not a theologian, but there is a religious component to it. Theological component to it. Yeah, Timothy, you said it. This is what they believe. They believe that this is according to, well, definitely Iran, but by and large, the more radical side of Islam is we are the great Satan. That's what they tell people. And if Israel's fighting against it, which they are for their very existence, should we be on their side versus the other side? Yeah, I think so. I absolutely think so. Okay, let's see. This is just an interesting one, and then I'm going to probably leave it at this. Well, I don't know. Do I even want to bring that one up? Let's see. All right. Okay, I'm gonna do two more. I'm changing gears on you guys. So let's see. Something you choose is bad, if not worse. I'm getting to more comments here. Jennifer LaFontaine. I look at it from a logical perspective. Yeah, that is the easiest way for anybody to stomach it, right? That this is from just the bare bones basics. The logical perspective is We have a common enemy in radical Islam. Period. End of story. There's no question about that. So from pure logic, take the theology out of it, even though theology does drive a lot of the decision makers in Washington, D.C., some of them. Yeah, we have a common enemy. Like it just makes perfect sense. So there you go. Cities were safer, less prevalent. That's interesting. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about some violence here. Don Lemon. This is kind of dovetails off of the No Kings protest, because they're protesting a lot of this, the common, I guess you would say, one of the common themes are the deportations. We've seen boatloads of deportations since Donald Trump has been in. Still not enough, in my estimation, in my opinion. Still not enough. But listen to the leftists, the ones who've been talking about gun confiscation. Listen to Don Lemon's take.
Black people, brown people of all stripes, whether you're an Indian American or a Mexican American or whoever you are, go out in your place where you live and get a gun legally, get a license to carry legally. Because when you have people knocking on your door and taking you away without due process as a citizen, isn't that what the Second Amendment was written for? Go back and read what the Second Amendment says. And perhaps it will knock some sense in the heads of these people who are saying, well, it's all great. I don't believe they're doing it without due process. They're asking people for papers. They're not really beating people up. These people are doing things that are illegal. Nobody is illegal. It is a misdemeanor to cross the border.
Okay, so this is the veiled language that we've been listening to for a very long time. And here one of the Krasensteins, Brian Krasenstein, he says, I fully support Don Lemon right here. This is literally what the Second Amendment was written for. Protect yourself from government overreach. No, he's talking about people who have entered our country, broken our laws by entering our country, are leeching off the system, i.e. theft from the taxpayers, by taking all these government subsidies. And he's saying that, no, now these non-citizens need to arm themselves. You shouldn't be able to buy a gun anyway. So he's trying to make an overarching point that, oh, no, it's just black and brown people, even Americans. And that's not who Donald Trump is going after. That's not who ICE is trying to round up. ICE is trying to round up non-citizens. Non-citizens can't buy firearms. But do you think a non-citizen can get their hands on a firearm? Yes, they absolutely can. If you're in Chicago or you're in other places, you can get your hand on a firearm, even though there are laws that prohibit it. This is the very nature of gun laws is to restrict the law-abiding American, because criminals, by their very definition, don't care about the laws. So now they're telling people to get armed, get ready. They cannot wait to see an ICE agent get blown away by an illegal immigrant with a firearm during one of these ICE raids. And look, you will see it. I guarantee it. You'll see it on X. I got no tears for these people. They were coming to take them away. There's no illegal person. No, there's not an illegal person, but there are illegal citizens. Or not citizens, but there are illegal immigrants. Your basic humanity, that's one thing. Your citizenship and rights to our tax dollars are another. And I will continue to say I'm for legal immigration, but I am obviously adamantly opposed to illegal immigration. People want to come in here, that's fine. They're some of our most productive citizens, the actual citizens. But just like we were talking about in the UK, this soccer match, you can't let the Jews go because they have so many Muslim immigrants who hate the Jews, and they say, for your own safety, we need to lock you away. That's biblical in and of itself. People will be saying safety and security. It's for your own safety. They did the same thing during COVID, right? It's safety and security. It's for your own good. But they let Antifa riot. They let BLM riot. They locked people away in their houses, the law-abiding citizens in their houses, and let the other people run rampant. They left the big stores open. They left the liquor stores open. They left the weed dispensaries open and locked the law-abiding citizens away. And now they're saying that we got to extend all the same stuff to people who aren't even legal immigrants in this country. And on top of that, we want you to arm yourself. So if they try to take you away, you can pop one of these fools. That's the argument that they're trying to make. It's crazy. What a world we live in. What a world we live in. All right. Some more comments have come in. So let's see. What have we got? Thank you guys for the comments. I appreciate it. I truly, truly appreciate it. That's right. Tracy said it. Here you go. Let's put up Timothy. Amen. I don't know what you were saying that in reference to, Timothy. But Tracy said, where was it? That's right. If you are, there we go. If they are documented, they have absolutely nothing to worry about. Correct. Right? Immigrants have due process, illegals. Yeah. It's funny how Don thinks black Americans shouldn't fight and die for illegals. That's funny. There you go. And Janie, this comes down to entitlements. That's where I tend to I don't want to say draw the line, but that's usually my focus. Milton Friedman, if anybody's listened to Milton Friedman, I highly recommend it. You can go on YouTube and listen to some of his talks. He was doing universities way back in the day, and he's obviously a brilliant, absolutely brilliant economist, but he was very laissez-faire when it came to immigration, and he believed that it was a good thing. But he also acknowledged that things like seasonal labor, labor comes across the country, they're able to work, they work for cheaper. He was also very much against the minimum wage because that is what gives the unskilled worker leverage to get a job in the first place. He had some very free market, very, very free market ideas. But he also admitted that when you start subsidizing or you start giving benefits to illegal immigrants, that whole thought process completely goes away. Like it becomes, it's now you're a net negative for the taxpayer. And that's kind of my stance. I worked back when I was in college. I couldn't have a job when I was at college because I was at a military college. But over the summer, I worked at a golf course, and I worked with some seasonal laborers. Jesus and Jorge would come and mow just like the rest of us. And I'm sure they worked for cheap, but they made a bunch of money, and they would go back in the wintertime when the golf course was closed and live like kings, and then come back over, work for the summer, and then go back to Mexico. They were seasonal laborers. Good dudes, barely spoke any English, but they worked hard. And I don't know if they had H-1Bs or what it was, but that was something that they did. Now, when you are saying that you're now entitled to health care, you're entitled to welfare, you can get EBT, and you're not even a citizen, and you're not paying into the system, because we've talked about this before, you guys remember this, they are a net negative. They say, well, they pay $60 billion a year in taxes, and yet it costs us $170 billion a year. So overall, they are an absolute net negative. I'm not down with that. Get rid of the subsidies. Let's see, what else? Is basically vetting someone. Let's see. Don Lemon basically vetting someone is no good. Yeah, that's true. Don Lemon's gone off the rails. I should probably pull up some of the clips. He's trying to reinvent himself. This is a point right here. Junior made it. Poor Don is getting desperate because the bills are piling up. So now he will say anything for attention. And this is what he's done with his man on the street interviews that have fallen absolutely flat. He'll go out and talk to people, and they'll either turn on him because they say, "Oh gosh, I've been watching you. You're that Don Lemon guy," or they say something that he doesn't, that's completely out of the sphere of what he was hoping to hear. And what's crazy is he still plays it. These average run-of-the-mill people make him look like a complete and utter fool, and he still airs it. So I guess any attention is good attention. There's no bad publicity. And Don Lemon is taking that and running with it. But I honestly, poor guy, he is so low IQ, and he proves that time and time and time again. He acts like this deep thinker, and every utterance that comes out of his mouth makes you I feel like I lose IQ points when I listen to him. So I try not to. So I do it in clips. I only have a few that I can sacrifice myself. Okay, guys, I think that's taken me to the end of the comment section. Let's see. When Don interviewed Sheriff David Clark about BLM, that was epic. Oh, wow. Yeah, that was a really good one. Guys, go check out that interview. That was from several years ago. That was, golly, that was during the BLM riots, I think. So it was probably 5 years ago. Yeah, that was a crazy interview. Yeah. Let's see. Yes. Oh, okay. You guys keep making great points. Great point here. He is stuck in the Joy Reid style of news. And that's an actual thing. The mainstream media people, only a few of them have been able to make a successful transition into alternative media. And on the left, it's nearly impossible. People over on the right, like Megyn Kelly, she's been obviously very successful. Tucker's doing a different thing, but he is, again, don't get me, I'm not going to get started on Tucker. But most of the people on the left are incapable of doing it because they were getting talking points. They had a whole research team. They aren't sitting down here necessarily combing through the news on their own. And they had these monster salaries. They were dining at the best restaurants. They lived this very cushy lifestyle. And all they had to do was sit and repeat whatever their bosses told them to repeat. And when you can't do that on the internet. Sorry, people that watch, that are focused on the internet, that are listening to alternative media outlets like this, most of them they're doing their own research. You're not just consuming my channel, right? I would love it if everybody came back and just listened to my channel. And then if you're new and you enjoy it, hit the subscribe button, the like button, the notification bell. But everybody's got, even myself, I don't listen to just one person. I have loads of people that I'm listening to. So you can tell when somebody's, your BS meter is kind of calibrated. Now, I will say that BS meter can go out of calibration if you let the algorithm get too much control over it, and that's what I try to avoid. So I will actively seek out people like Mehdi Hassan and Cenk Uygur and individuals that I am vehemently opposed to ideologically, and I try to listen to what they say because I have to keep my BS meter calibrated, if you kind of know what I mean. We need to understand that all Islam is radical, and how many across the border during the Biden years, we are infidels according to their Quran. Everyone should read, study, and discern it. Yeah, so look, I've been, ever since the border was wide open during Biden, and I was making videos a lot less frequently back then than I am now, but that was my primary concern. Insider threats here in the U.S., it's a huge deal, and I don't think the average American understands the level of hate that they have for, people argue about why they hate us so much. Part of it is theological, part of it is based on their sect or their group, whether it's Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, whatever it is, Boko Haram. I mean, you pick your poison. There's different ideologies inside of that religion, but the radicals are the ones that you have to worry about most. And yes, the level of hatred that they have for Americans is something most citizens just don't comprehend, which is why I was whooping and hollering about it. Like, I'm a small channel. I'm growing, but I'm a small channel. And I hear these big commentators talking about it, and when they miss that point, they miss that piece of it, it really drives me nuts. I'm like, guys, say it. Like, it's okay to say it. There are people that are so ideologically opposed to us that every fiber of their being says that the death of one of us is perfectly acceptable. And that's not okay. That's not the type of people that we want to bring into the country. And that's why we have such strong vetting. That's why becoming a legal citizen, the background checks are in some cases impossible, which is why some people, not everybody deserves citizenship. If you come from, I don't know, I keep saying Nigeria because that's where they're killing all the Christians. In fact, I probably ought to show that pastor to you guys. But if you get a person who comes from Nigeria, is their identification system, is it accurate enough to know the lineage of that person, to know where they're going to mosque? Is it to know what organizations they're involved in? Does their police force have the resources to track those types of people in any great detail? And if we can't find out to the nth degree what that person is involved in, then they don't deserve citizenship in this country, because our loyalty and our responsibility is to our citizens first, not to bring in the person. That's not our priority, is letting people come in. It's a privilege to come in here. And our law enforcement, their primary responsibility is taking care of us and protecting us. And which is what makes Biden's, what he did, at the southern border, even worse, because they just threw all that to the wind and said, "Now, our most important thing is diversity and bringing in as many people from as many countries as we possibly can, not the safety and security of the American people. That's what's so diabolical about it. Let's see. Thank you guys for the comments. I appreciate it very, very much. Okay, I'm going to end on this one. It's a sad note, but I am going to pull up this pastor because I think people need to hear about what's going on in Nigeria as we're talking about all this. Nigeria pastor. I didn't have it prepared, so I'm going to find it. And I'm sure if I just search Nigerian pastor, he's going to be, yep, here he is, right up front. This guy has gotten millions upon millions of views, as well he should. Let's listen to this. And he's making a plea to President Trump. He's making a plea to everybody, to the Western world.
To be outside performing burial every day. And they expect us to silence. Now is an order. Nigerian government came out openly and denied there is no massacre. There is no genocide of Christians in Nigeria. And look at it today. Is there any Muslim here? United Nations, I know you're watching me. American Senate, you are watching what I'm doing, I'm saying here. Special advisor to Trump. Now, please tell Trump to save our life in Nigeria. They are killing Christians in Nigeria, massacre Christians. If they say they kill Muslims, Muslims are being killed. By who? By Muslims.
I mean, this is, again, this clip has gone everywhere, and it's heartbreaking. You can hear it in his voice. He's frustrated every day. He's saying that every day. It's I think up to 8,000 or 9,000 that have been killed just this year. There's never outrage for that, interestingly enough. There's never outrage with that. There's usually just outrage. I mean, when it comes to, obviously, we've heard about Gaza. And we can walk and chew gum at the same time. If there's atrocities that go on, we have to call them out regardless of where it happens. But people they seem to be oddly silent when it's Christians being massacred in another country. That's a great point, Timothy. It's not only their religion, it's their politics. And that's what it's a difficult situation because we are a Christian country. We were founded on Christian principles. Yes, I will say Judeo-Christian principles, but Christian principles, let's just call it what it is. 9 of the first 13, I believe it was 9. Was it 9 or 10? The first 13 colonies that required a profession of faith to serve in the federal government or to serve in the state government. It's mentioned in our Declaration of Independence. God is mentioned in our Declaration of Independence. It all comes from our, we are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights. That first little statement in and of itself is saying that we are making a plea to a higher authority. The rights come from someone that mankind cannot touch, therefore that cannot be taken away by mankind. And when I played the video clip here just a few months ago of Tim Kaine coming out and saying, no, I can't believe that somebody would make an argument that your rights come from God and not from the government. This is something they've been trying to erase for a very, very long time. And they do that because, why Christianity is a threat to them. Look, this is where it makes no sense. Christianity is a threat to them because we are the largest religion here in the U.S., and it's not that we are, they want to live a life absent God, and they want the government to fall in line with that. That because our morality is guided by Christianity. They don't want morality to be guided by Christianity. They want this subjective morality where they can, everybody has their own reality. This is why the term "my truth" versus "the truth" is part of their language, right? They want to be gods to themselves, and we say no. Our God is a creator who gave us our rights. They want the government to be that. There is nothing above government to them. When you follow it up the food chain, for us, we have a creator. For them, it's Tim Kaine, and it's Barack Obama, and it was Hillary Clinton, and it was Joe Biden. This is their higher authority. So they want the right. They want to say that our rights come from them because they can divvy them out as they see fit. It's a silly way to look at the world. It really is. Let's see. Yeah, James, you guys are making some really good points. Yeah, very good points. Theocratic dictatorship, yes. And that's the tricky thing about it. Christianity doesn't come with a government. We say that, people like Andrew Wilson have tried to make the argument that having an actual Christian governmental system, I don't know if he believes it's led by the church. I would have to look at it. There's people that make that type of an argument. There isn't a government that comes along with Christianity, but there is a government and a set of laws that come along with Islam. That's why it's antithetical to American principles, because we are a government who uses our God as our morality, but it doesn't come with a governmental system. Like, it doesn't come with a constitution. It doesn't come with a set of rules on how to legislate and how to deal with this and how to deal with that. It's just saying this is how you're going to live your life. I think I'm saying this right, but you guys get where I'm coming from. That's why every Muslim country is a theocracy. Yep. Here we go. Correct. It's the point ultimately I'm trying to make. Christianity is above any government or country. Yep. Okay, guys. Wow, you all took me all the way out to the hour. Woo. Good questions. Good comments. I appreciate it. Any more? I went to Mo Freedom. I went to the Low Latin Kings Rally today. No Latin Kings Rally. What is that? I went to the No Latin Kings Rally. I'm going to look that up. Welcome aboard, Mo Freedom. No Latin Kings Rally. Where was that? Let's see. Latin Kings Gang. There's have been no recent reports of. Interesting. I haven't heard about that one, Mo Freedom. Let's see. Okay, well, actually, Mo Freedom, hit me up in the comments. I want to know which one that is. Like, what's the oh. I was kidding. Oh, gosh. Okay. You got me busted. Oh, that was funny. I'm sitting here looking for it. I'm Googling it. I'm like, what is the No Latin Kings Rally? I have no idea what that is. Latin Kings, the gang. I just got that. Okay. All right. I got you. Oh, I totally missed it. I miffed that one. Oh, that's great. That is great. All right, guys. On that note, it's good to end on a funny note. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for all the comments. I really appreciate it. This channel is growing. We've doubled just in the past couple of weeks. So be a part of it. Subscribe, hit the like button and the notification bell. That way you're notified every time a new video is released. Hey, I will see you guys in the next one. There won't be any live streams next week. I apologize for that, but work calls. And so I'm going to be doing a bit of travel. So won't be any next week, but I will fire it up in 2 weeks. Thank you guys. Y'all are awesome. I appreciate you. And I will see you in the next episode. Oh, okay. Junior, I saw your comment down there. Mo Freedom. I knew you were joking. Okay. Thanks, Mo Freedom. I got to put that comment up. It feeds my ego. That's going to feed my ego for the next day. I appreciate it. Let's see. All right. Let me pull that one down. Okay. All right, guys. I'm going to head out of here. I'll see you in the next one. God bless you. God bless America.